So a game I've been excited to try out, a game in Legacy Steel and Sorcery. I've been given early access to it, whereas today guys I bring you everything you need to know about the game and my experience with it so far. How's it going guys? My name is DPJ, and if you do enjoy the video, leaving a like really helps out, and if you like what you see and want to see more, be sure to subscribe. So seeing glimpses of this game, I knew it would be straight away a game I would definitely check out, and I'm so glad that I did. Now a sponsor opportunity came up for me to check this game out, which I jumped on obviously, but I must say I am free to say what I like in regards to my experience and what I feel about this game. So firstly, if you don't know what this game is, here is a quick summary. So Legacy Steel and Sorcery is an action combat PvPvE extraction RPG set in the classic fantasy world of Mithridates. Here you can play solo or with friends to gather loot, slaying creatures or even other players while you explore the dangerous beauty of Legacy Steel and Sorcery. So you race to find lost treasures while battling players and monsters in merciless action combat. But make sure you find your way back to safety before it's too late or risk losing it all. And this game is brought to us by Notorious Studios. Okay, now for me, knowing this and seeing trailers, I was quite excited. But if I'm honest, from what I've played in the short window I got before release, the game actually has so much more to it, which I feel will entice a bigger audience. So the game is in early access right now and it releases February 12th, so if this date has passed while you're watching this video, the game is out now on Steam, which I'll link in the video description and the top of the comments section. Now console release is planned, but not until I believe next year. So Steam is currently the only place we can check this game out. Okay, so I firstly want to give you guys my thoughts on the game and the experience I've had, and so far I've really enjoyed the game that I've been playing. It's new to me in the sense of combining a kind of hack and slash RPG type of game, combine that with an extraction looter. Extraction games ain't really my thing, but in the sense of this I really enjoyed it. I will say I played solo for the most part, but I feel playing in a team would definitely be more fun here. Now the gameplay itself is fluid and fun with plenty on offer, from the vastly 4 different starting characters you can choose from, who can evolve to be even better with various different things you can find and extract. My only nose when playing the game, or when I actually started playing the game, was the fact there was no controller support built in, so I had to use Steam's input option, which once I sorted the sensitivity out, it felt fine. Mouse and keyboard players obviously will not have this issue. Now upon seeing early gameplay via a playtest creators had about 5 months back now I believe it was, I was worried about the not so polished look and feel to the game. But I can tell you a lot of progress has been made clearly in that 5-month period. The early access version I played put these worries of mine to bed. Yes, it isn't a AAA title where hundreds of millions have been thrown at it, but if I'm honest with you guys, it feels more polished and definitely more fun than many that I have played these days. Another worry of mine which has been put to bed was what looked like a simple and minimal combat system. But having played all 4 classes, having seen what each offers and how loot and individual talent trees or skill trees can drastically change you and how your character works, this, as I said, is no longer a worry to me whatsoever. The combat felt great, and me knowingly I could make it even better via grinding and farming just added a kind of addiction to the game. So what about this game do I feel you need to know, which the trailers in my opinion don't give you the best insight into? So firstly, as I mentioned, there are 4 starting characters for you to choose from. We have the warrior, the hunter, the rogue and the priest, again each offering a different play style. Now each of these classes does have that skill tree which enhances playstyles and so forth. Not the biggest skill tree in the world, but it doesn't have to be in this kind of game. Now with the game itself, it being that PvPvE extractor game, The point of the game is obviously to collect, farm and extract, but losing gear via dying and not being revived by teammates means you lose your entire inventory, although you get a few slots to keep stuff that you won't lose upon death. But yeah, in general, death means a loss of what you have looted. And it's at this point where you start to get a little twitchy bum time, then palms get sweaty when you know you need to make it to that extraction point. And this is the kind of feeling you get from other extractor games, it's no different here. And don't forget, other players can obviously take you out and steal your belongings. But due to me playing a limited play early access game, I barely came across anyone. But on release, expect to come across way more teams of players, which is something I cannot wait for. So you load in, you fight, you farm and you loot. Each different zone, and there are a few of them, allows you to spawn in, which I do want to add, it isn't any random generated world like some people have expected, which for me is great because it just means I get to learn the maps and know where certain things are on the map, and knowing certain things to stay clear of until I've leveled up. I learned this the hard way, getting one tapped by a monster of an enemy. But yes, I'm currently leveling up, I'm going back for this dude, but that won't be for now. But yeah guys, because there's no generated worlds here, I know places to loot in the form of looting enemy corpses, chests, which you'll find in hidden corners in buildings and so forth, where they can reward you a variety of different things from gold, weapons, armors, and many different items and materials. You can also farm materials like ore, wood, gems and so forth. But you might be wondering why the need to farm these certain materials. Well, there's a great side to this game which allows you to craft a variety of different things. So the city tab at the main menu screen brings you to a page where you will meet 7 different vendors. The alchemist, the armourer, the enchantress, the tailor, the tavern maid, the treasurer and the weaponsmith. Within these vendors you can purchase a variety of different things, from buying armour, potions, weapons with gold, selling loot you have found and farmed, crafting items and even upgrading items in a variety of different ways. You can also upgrade and level up these vendors using them, buying from them, selling things to them, crafting with them and so forth. With upgrades comes better gear obviously, with these vendors who also restock their items for sale too. Staying with the main menu here guys, you also have the quest tab, which brings you a variety of different quests you can do on a daily, which reward you certain things for doing certain tasks, taking out enemies, farming certain things and so forth. We then guys have your lodge. Now your lodge is basically a home tab which sees you being able to upgrade certain aspects of said home, which will help your character's stats and benefits, from inventory size to rested XP gains to bigger cooking pots to craft better things and so forth. So there's loads here for the player to do, and obviously extracting being an important part of it. Now playing this game for a few hours, I have found myself growing attached to it. There's a nice blend of farming, looting, combat and adrenaline from extracting, which I absolutely love. And this comes as a side to leveling up and making your character, your player, even more powerful, so you can go back in and take down that bigger, harder hitting enemy and see what they're going to drop for you. Leveling in this game isn't a daunting task either, early on anyway. But as you get stronger, you start seeing better items drop in regards to weapons and armor, which will instantly make you more powerful. And with weapons and armors in this game come with additional benefits, you really have a lot to chase. And then you have to think about the PvP aspect of this game. Although I didn't experience much of this, I can imagine it will be quite hectic but fun at the same time. And yeah, you share extraction points with other players too, so I can imagine a royal rumble going off when players are trying to extract at the same time but also steal everyone else's loot. So my initial thoughts on this game and from what I've played from it, I really enjoyed what I got my hands on. Even though it's only for a limited time frame, I think it's definitely one of those games that may slip under the radar for many gamers, which will be a shame. But it's in my opinion definitely worth your time. The combat is great and fluid, although somewhat slow at first until you start finding better gear and so forth. The farming and looting aspect of the game is exactly what you'd probably expect here. And the added PvP extraction part of the game will also get your adrenaline flowing. Trust me, there's tons to do here with loads of rewards to chase. I mean, if you've liked what you've seen with trailers and gameplay previews and things of that nature, I can put my money on it, you'll definitely enjoy the game when it comes to playing it for yourself. Now, performance wise, it was fine, no bugs, no glitches that I saw, and the servers within my game time felt great. But again, this was a limited player thing, what I got my hands on, so I can't speak for when the servers start to get a bit ramped. But yes, Legacy Steel and Sorcery is out now. Check out the link within the video description and pinned at the top of the comments section, which will take you to the Steam page. Now, I know people watching this may have a few more questions that they didn't find the answer to within this video, but the CEO of Notorious Studios put together a Q&A, which you can see on screen now. You just want to pause the video and read through this. But on that note, guys, the end of the video has arrived. If you enjoyed it, leaving a like really helps me out. If you like what you see and want to see more, be sure to subscribe. And hopefully, guys, I will see you on that next one.